the Pirates' road to the postseason begin here? Tonight, we're in Los Angeles as the Pirates begin an important 3-game series against the Dodgers. And can they make the postseason for the 4th straight year? Well, right now, a game back of the Cardinals, who lost today, and 2 games trailing the Marlins, who are in that second and final wild card berth. The Dodgers, of course, atop that list right now. And welcome into the booth tonight, Joe Block, along with Bob Walks. Thanks for staying up with us here tonight. And for the Pirates, you know, looking at the standings and looking at where they've come from in terms of their opponents and who they're going to face, this is going to be a tough road to hoe for them coming up.
Well, sure it is, but it's teams that you got to beat. So, you know, I think it sets up good. If you're going to make a run at this wild card spot, you got to get going now. You got to beat the good teams, the teams that are right in front of you. And, you know, you look right out there tonight, you got the Dodgers sitting there. You know, they right now have that first wild card spot, but, you know, hang a couple losses on them, move into Frisco, do the same thing. I mean, the teams we have to beat, they're in front of us, we're playing them. Let's go get them.
And it begins here tonight against a team that they took 3 out of 4 from back at PNC Park. But the Dodgers, as you saw, playing a little bit better since the All-Star break, since the last time these 2 teams met. And tonight for the Pirates, it'll be Ivan Nova making his second start for Pittsburgh. And after a good start his last time around, can he replicate that? We'll find out next. Pirates and Dodgers here from LA.
Batting 7, first baseman, number 3, Sean Rodriguez. Batting 8, catcher, number 24.
Hi.
Fryer.
Yes.
Batting 9, pitcher, number 46, Ivan Nova. Manager of the Pirates is Clint Hurdle.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is play-by-play. Play-by-play on 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Washington Nationals, Los Angeles Dodgers, Montreal Expos. Bob Walk.
Me? Keep talking? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Vaughn Nova is going to pitch tonight. Go 9 innings and throw shutouts and strike people out.
Weekend series against the Dodgers, and the Pirates throwing Ivan Nova, making his second start with the Buccos tonight.
Well, Ivan Nova really did a good job, except for a couple pitches to Phillips that went over the fence the other night. And one of the things that you saw that you had to really like, and hopefully we see a lot of tonight, is that sinker working down in the strike zone. Get the ball on the ground, you know, nullify some of the power that the Dodgers have. Get those ground balls, get the double plays when you got people on base. That's what I want to see out of Nova tonight.
And he'll go to try to build on that last start, and he'll face Ross Stripling, a rookie, in this battered Dodgers rotation. He'll get the nod for LA tonight. And let's go back to the studios. We got a game break with Rob King.
tonight. Time is growing near. PNC on a Friday night with family down here. Here we go on Friday. Let's get it done on a Friday night. Pittsburgh on Friday, it's what we do.
Clear the deck! Serpico has blocked it off, and the Pirates win it. Cannonball coming.
And his Friday night is rocking.
And no doubt about this one.
It's Friday night. It rocks.
Friday. Let's get it done on Friday night. Pittsburgh on Friday. It's what we do.
It is a Friday night, late night. Thanks for staying up late with us, I should say, here tonight from Dodger Stadium. And a lot of Buccos fans making their way here to LA, maybe in the area, maybe coming out to visit. Seeing lots of black and gold here tonight. And we'll look at the RAV4 lineup for the Buccos as Clint Hurdle puts this together tonight. Very similar. Josh Harrison with Marte and McCutcheon atop the order. Polanco back in the cleanup spot with David Freese, and doing very well so far in August. Mercer, Rodriguez, Eric Fryer catching Ivan Nova. Ross Stripling, rookie for the Dodgers, gets the nod tonight.
Yeah, his numbers on the year. Last time out, reading the scouting report, really a lot of good things to say about his fastball, the fastball command, the swings and misses he was getting off it. So I'm anxious to see, even though his average velocity is not all that high, apparently he's one of those guys that still can really do well with that #1 pitch.
And you can see that number 68 on his back. The Dodgers have been riddled with injury.
Oh, yeah, they sure have.
So even though Stripling part of that opening rotation, it has been a number of guys being down for Dave Roberts and company. So that's why you don't. There's some names you probably don't know on the pitching staff for the Dodgers at the moment. There's a familiar face though with Josh Harrison, kind of entrenched now as the leadoff man. Clayton Kershaw playing catch today. Still not anywhere close to returning.
Good for us.
And a little trouble on the exchange.
Oh.
Harrison
Jay thinks he's safe.
Yeah, Corey Seager, fantastic rookie shortstop of the Dodgers. Couldn't get that ball seamed up. Harrison with 19 infield hits already. Thinks he might have picked up another one. Ooh. What are they going to do here? Yep, they're going to challenge. Clint Hurdle wants to take a look at this, and that shows it right there. Harrison's going to have another infield hit.
You know, it's almost like you got to be so sure to use it on the first play of the game.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean?
Yeah, it's got to be a no doubter, and that one looks pretty clear cut. But yeah, otherwise you lose your challenge. That's it.
Yeah, for the rest of the game.
Harrison said, no, I knew it. Jim Joyce down there at first base. That's a cool shot right there with the replay in the background. Seager, if he makes that play cleanly, no problem. There's Joyce with the headset on the right side. First base umpire and the crew chief tonight. Now he would have loved to have had this 6 years ago during Armando Galarraga's perfect game, and couldn't overturn it back then. Now you can. Let's look at our Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
What's on the back?
Call overturned. Pirates win the challenge. They keep that, and Josh Harrison with his 20th infield hit of the season.
Seems like when you win the challenge, you should get something more.
What, like a treasure chest or something?
Oh, the only thing you're getting is
justice.
Yeah, what it should have been to begin with, right?
Yeah, but isn't that something?
No, I want a bonus.
Yeah. Starling Marte working out of that 2 spot.
For the rest of the inning, your hitters get 4 strikes.
Well, that may happen anyway. You never know.
They get a bonus.
Marte working out of that 2 spot, which Clint Hurdle has said that is the most important spot in the order, statistically speaking. Harrison with 15 steals over there at first. Yeah, Hurdle talking about the lineup construction. He wants to go with this for a while. See how it plays out.
That's changed so much over the year that I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, I think that it's just been a thing that's been in flux all year long, and we could come home off this road trip and have some guys in some different spots.
You just saw John Jaso there a moment ago. It was almost automatic that he would be leading off against a right-hander. Now not even in the starting lineup. His eye improved today. You can see there's still some discoloration, but he's fine. He can see, and he's just not performing as well as he did in the first half of the season. Harrison's running and golfed up the middle for a base hit. And a nice deke there by the veteran Chase Utley at second base keeps Harrison from moving to third.
Yeah, I thought that it looked like Jay saw that all the way, didn't it?
Play was in front of him, but
really surprised that.
Watch Utley, the second baseman, right there.
Well, he's definitely messing with him, but Jay's even pointing to the outfield, like he's arguing with Utley. Marte's going, "Hey, it's out there. What are you doing?"
And with him running on the pitch, he would have likely gotten to third on that. So
easily would have got to third. Yeah.
Utley, longtime veteran, saving a base there. Andrew McCutchen batting with 2 men on. McCutchen at 240. 15 home runs. Got some speed on the base paths too. See if the Pirates could strike first against these Dodgers tonight.
I mean, he's looking over his left shoulder, right?
Yeah.
And then he, at the crack of the bat, he immediately looked to center field. I don't know.
Maybe just didn't pick up where it was. Maybe it's still in the air. I'm not sure. But he could see Peterson breaking for it.
Yeah, my reaction was that he knew the ball was where it was. And
well, you know what? Remember Harrison's game yesterday, trying to take the extra base and getting thrown out on the base paths? Maybe he was being extra cautious.
Well, that's extra cautious there. That's being very. I mean, if he can't go from first to third on a single to center, when he's breaking on the pitch, I mean,
well, sure,
that says an awful lot for Peterson's arm.
1-2 to McCutchen. Through for a base hit. Now Harrison will score. Marte streaking into third, and the Pirates open up 1-0. Ended up not mattering as McCutchen drives in run number 45. So 3 ground singles to start this one.
Got that ball nicely into the hole there on a hook. And Jay Hay easily is going to score, and then Marte drawing that throw into third base.
That's one thing I like about this configuration of the lineup. You have speed in those first 2 spots.
Well, traditionally, that's, how you construct the lineup.
Right. Oh, no doubt. But we haven't seen that really.
Well, no, we haven't. You're right.
So now first and third, still with nobody out. McCutcheon's running. And he is in on his 5th stolen base. And there was a time that I would say there's speed in the top 4 spots of the order, but McCutcheon now starting to run a little bit more.
Boy, this ball came close to catching him in the noggin too. That throw. Marte kind of taking it easy over there at third.
You never know if that ball gets through.
Well, it kind of did. If he's coming down the line toward home plate and that ball bounces away, I think he scores easy, doesn't he?
Even with Utley
nonchalantly walking back to the base.
I was surprised to see that. Good cut by Polanco. Yeah, because even if it goes right to Utley and he has it right there, he's still got to make that throw home. That takes time.
Well, I'm not saying you have to go home on a throw to second base, but shouldn't you be kind of, like Snoopy in the Great Pumpkin commercial show? You know how you jump off the base, you're ready to run, and he was just kind of walking back to the bag like it was nothing going on. Ball gets away, rolls off for about 10, 15 feet, and
take that free run.
See, that's the thing. A lot of times, guys that I think have great speed, like Marte, he's fast. He's one of the fastest guys in the league. I don't know. It's almost like they take it for granted. In that situation, I think he was taking it for granted.
Now the Pirates might have been able to capitalize on that. Base hit here could plate a pair. McCutcheon's run-scoring single, bringing in Harrison. 3 straight ground singles off Ross Stripling. And Polanco strikes out. And Stripling jumps rope. Now that's one way to get back at the guy for striking you out, right?
I don't think that evens it up very well, though.
Let's look at the Honda defense for Dave Roberts' Dodgers. The Rookie of the Year candidate at shortstop, Corey Seager, in that infield with Chase Utley, the veteran. Turner and Gonzalez on the corners. Howie Kendrick has moved out to left with Peterson and Josh Reddick acquired from the A's out there in right. Osmani Grandal picking it up with the bat again.
Good curveball there.
And we haven't seen Josh Reddick not wearing the green and gold in a long time. Part of that trade that you also got Rich Hill in that deal. He was supposed to start tomorrow, but not healthy enough yet. 2 strikes to David Freese. It'll be Brandon McCarthy tomorrow and then Brett Anderson on Sunday for the Dodgers, who had to kind of figure out what they were going to do a little bit before game time tonight in terms of who's going to start the rest of the weekend. Two on in scoring position.
It's amazing when you look around baseball, see how many people are hurt and on disabled list.
Dodgers have 14 players on the DL right now. 1 and 2 on Freese. Brandon McCarthy recovering from Tommy John surgery. Brett Anderson has had it in the past. Francisco Cervelli, good to see him in uniform, but not in the starting lineup. Left wrist problem.
Rivers Casino tips to win. Jump on the fastball. As I said earlier, Stripling, a lot of success with that fastball in his last start. I'm thinking he might use a little too much tonight. Let's make him pay if he does. And no Dodger long balls. Keep that ball on the ground. We touched on that in the open.
That's on the ground and trouble for Seager, and everyone's going to be safe. Marte is in. Pirates lead 2-0. 4 ground singles in the inning, and the Pirates played a pair.
We're not punishing the ball yet, but
RBI 46 for David Freese.
just a chopper.
Seager's had a hard time gripping it.
I think he had the same problem there as he had on Jay. Just couldn't find the handle on it, so he decided to just hand it back to Stripling.
So McCutchen moves up to third. Runners at the corners for Jordy Mercer. 2-0 Pirates here in the first. Stripling in his 10th major league start. He's been in and out of the rotation. The Dodgers now have had 3 rookies make 10 or more starts. They haven't had that happen since 1952, when Vin Scully was in his 3rd season broadcasting Dodger games. That speaks to the amount of injuries that the Dodgers have had this season.
But that's something that happened since '52, and their announcer can tell us about it firsthand.
Just a thrill to see Vin Scully today in his 67th and final season broadcasting Dodger games. There's Mr. Scully. I don't think we'll ever have somebody work the broadcast solo anymore. I mean, he works games by himself. You don't need anybody else when you got Vin Scully. Could be 2, slow roller, and Mercer beats it out. That affords the Pirates another run.
Playing back for 2, but they didn't really get a double play ball. So our best weapon tonight has been the ground ball to short.
First baseman number 3, Sean Rodriguez.
If you told Ross Stripling, hey, you're going to get a bunch of slow ground balls in the infield, and all right, great. But the Pirates have manufactured 3 runs out of the deal.
Yeah, nice comfortable lead. 3-run innings. It's what wins ball games.
It'll put you in the driver's seat from the get-go. Here's Sean Rodriguez, the 7th man to come up here in this first inning. Now with 2 outs. Mercer got his 41st run batted in. And a nice cushion for Ivan Nova, who in his first Pirate start went 7 innings and gave up 3 runs. So gives you anything close to that tonight, and the Pirates should be in good shape. Seager gets him out of the inning. But Stripling has a little trouble there, and the Pirates collect 3 for Ivan Nova. Runs for the Pirates at the top of the first. And Chase Utley will lead things off for the Dodgers as we take a look at Dave Roberts' lineup for tonight, with Corey Seager, the possible Rookie of the Year to follow. Justin Turner's been swinging the bat well. Josh Reddick without an extra base hit since joining the Dodgers. Gonzalez, Grandal, Jock Peterson with Howie Kendrick, and then Ross Stripling.
Take a look at Nova's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. You can see that he has been working hard this year, up over 100 innings. 80 Ks, 25 walks. The home run ball has been a problem with Nova, 21 of them. And a couple in his first start against with the Pirates. So see if he can keep the ball down today. Stay away from that long ball.
Issues ball one to Chase Utley, the longtime Philly. First full season with the Dodgers.
One thing I really liked about Nova in that first start, he was really going right after the hitters. And I would imagine now with an early 3-run lead, he'll even be more aggressive at throwing a lot of strikes.
He gave up a couple of solo home runs, but didn't walk himself into jams or anything like that.
It's the 3-run inning that you got to stay away from, not the solo home runs that are going to be a big difference.
This is not an easy ballpark to hit home runs in, especially on some nights. Kind of expansive out there. It's only 395 to center and 375 to the gaps, but you grew up in the area, but what is the phenomena that takes place here at night?
I don't know. The marine layer comes in off the coast. And I have
ball
no
just
idea.
kind of hangs at night sometimes.
I thought Milt May had the best explanation.
Ball hanging up there for the first out.
I heard somebody ask him one time about why Dodger Stadium is so tough to hit in, and he said, "Well, it's easy." And he started just going down like Sutton, Drysdale, Koufax, Hershiser, on and on and on. The long, huge list of great Dodger pitchers. He goes, that's the main reason it's always been so tough to hit in this ballpark. The pitchers that they've had.
Many of those retired numbers belong to the great pitching. Seager with a base hit. And that's going to be all because Marte gets a quick throw in. Now those corners are a little shallow out there, and Marte playing that ball well out there. Leads the National League with 12 outfield assists.
Sees that ball coming in, got to put on the brakes.
There's no stat for that, but limiting an extra base. So Seager aboard, not really a threat to run.
Don't need a stat for it. Guys down there in the field, they know.
Justin Turner.
I'm sure there is a stat for it too.
Someone's got something for it. I just don't know about it yet.
I hope you never find out for your sake.
Turner has been very good at the plate over the last third of the season or so. Right to Marte. That was well hit, but well placed for the Pirates. And 2 away.
Right fielder, number 11, Jock Reddick.
Well, there you go. Those fans of the Korean-born Jung Ho Gung and Hyunjin Ryu.
Get one or both, huh?
There's Jung Ho. Not in the starting lineup tonight. Reddick looking for his first extra base hit with the Dodgers. That's his numbers, including his time with the A's. Batting in the cleanup spot. Guess that's a way for a manager to instill confidence in a player, right? You know, you start struggling, and hey, we're going to keep you there.
I mean, to a point, there is eventually you have to kind of throw in the towel and maybe do some other things. But yeah, that's one of the things you try to do, keep their confidence up.
Yeah, 8 games so far for Reddick. 4 out of 32. That's a 125 clip, but there's a lot of points within a season where an 8-game stretch you might have that kind of output. There's former Pirate hitting coach Turner Ward. Been a hitting coach throughout basically the National League West for recent years. Diamondbacks. Seager aboard at first after his single. Kind of a waste pitch there, right?
Yeah, just throwing it out there, just showing it to him.
Now,
you know, you're not necessarily trying to throw it that far off the plate, but it's a pitch where if you're going to miss, you want to miss bad with it. You don't want to miss over the heart.
Right into the shift. Freeze. It's the easy force. So Ivanova, just the one hit. And the Pirates own a 3-0 lead tonight in LA.
Outside the stadium.
Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
On a Friday Night Rocks, the sun just setting here out on the West Coast. Thanks for sticking up. I keep saying that. Staying up late with us, sticking up for us too. 3-0 Pirates. Maybe you're on the third shift. You're just getting your day started.
Yeah, of course. Just getting rolling.
Eric Fryer with Nova and then Harrison. So 8-9-1 after that really good first inning.
Pirates had a real good first shift.
Indeed.
King night.
Yeah, they brought some of the Los Angeles Kings hockey players here to the game tonight. One, 2 from Stripling. 1-2 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 from Strip Eric Fryer in there again for Francisco Cervelli tonight. Pirates have. There's Cervelli. Pirates have had Elias Diaz at the ready if needed. But Cervelli looks like he'll be able to go again soon. May even be available tonight if needed. Left wrist concern. Talking about how he came back from that hamate injury in a quick amount of time, 5.5 weeks. Didn't take him all that long to get back. And every now and then, if he says if he doesn't swing perfectly, he can get some of that pain, that tendonitis in that left wrist. Fryer rolls it over. He's the first out.
Why wouldn't he just swing perfectly then? That's all.
Yeah, that's right.
There's an answer to that.
Right.
Yeah.
You just don't swing imperfectly.
Don't swing unless you're going to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
Somebody else, the hamate bone thing that today I was reading is. They said he was out for the season. I can't find it now.
I was just reading that too, and it escapes me as well.
Put my fancy reading glasses on.
Oh, those are fancy.
You like them?
For you, yes.
Let's see. There's somebody that.
Bob, do you forget your regular glasses today?
Yes, I did. And JR loaned me his.
You can tell we're out in L.A.
Yeah, they're Los Angeles reading glasses.
Yeah, they're very. Wow. Like like greenish blue. Nice. Nova makes the second out. Let's look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update, and Chris Stewart begins a rehab assignment tonight, and 1 for 2 with a single and a run batted in for the Curve. Great to see him back on the ball field. He has been out for about 6 weeks now. Bulky left knee. Trying to get the Pirates catching duo back in order. Josh Harrison started that 3-run first inning with an infield hit.
Yeah, the Pirates haven't been without their injuries. Also, they've had to deal with this year. I think one of the big ones that we don't talk much about, but I had a pretty big effect, was Cole being out for a month or so there, and that was right at the point where I think the offense was going down there for a while.
And that ends the inning. Starting pitching has been inconsistent. Better lately. first inning runs.
A lot of pretty girls here in Los Angeles.
To state the obvious, right? All right. That's why they put them on. Look, some of our Point Park tweets tonight, and thanks for staying up late with us. A good start. Beat these Dodgers. Yeah, we talked about, we saw the standings. Pirates 2 games back in the wild card for the second spot. Dodgers occupy that first spot at the moment as they chase the Giants in the West. These are some big games. Adrian Gonzalez to start things in the second. He's been picking it up.
Well, he's really doing the twist, trying to dig himself a hole there, isn't he? Little dance step. Now he's ready. There's Bob Gibson when you need him.
Right into the shift.
All of that dance around for a 6-hopper to second.
And he's all taken care of.
Catcher number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
Hey, well, we have a moment. Want to pass along a happy birthday wish to Bill Adams, who turns 90 years young today. And Unc, great Pirates fan watching in Coriopolis. Thanks for tuning in tonight, Bill.
Happy birthday.
There's Yasmani Grandal.
We should come up with a Root Sports happy birthday song, you know, something real quick like they do in the restaurants, you know, when they come out on your birthday. You know, happy birthday, something like that. We could make something.
Well, on a Friday Night Rocks, I think maybe we could do that. We could ask.
Well, we have a moment.
Yeah.
We should expand it a little more. While we have like a long moment, we'll sing a song. Only on, it's a good point though. Only on Friday nights.
Yeah, maybe we can rhythmic clapping as well.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. One of the great local bands maybe could put something together for us.
so it's got to be real short. Something we could like sing in like 12 seconds or less.
And then put a very quick scroll of all the birthdays.
Yeah.
And Dahl drives it to center. Good jump by McCutcheon, but he can't get it.
I think he may have.
He did get it. Wow. The ball disappeared in his glove.
That was an outstanding catch. Wow.
Center fielder number 31.
Look at that smile.
He got a great jump on that ball.
Look, he's trying to peek up at the board there. That was a heck of a play. Well, that ball's just launched over his head. Time the leap.
It started with a great jump.
The look on his face there. Nova was like you. You could see there for a second. Did he get that?
I know, I thought that. That is about as perfect as it's going to get. Perfect line right to the ball.
Yep.
And a well-timed leap, too.
But that's one of those, I guess they do have some kind of efficiency stats on the routes that you run to the baseball.
I'm seeing if they'll show it.
That one's got to be a good one.
Yeah, I got to.
Whatever a good efficiency stat is, whatever number they put on it.
Out of 100%.
Good number.
Make it easy for everybody.
Well, okay, it's out of 100%, but is 90% good or is 80% good? Or
90% gets you an A.
okay, so 90's good.
We'll see
So
if
80% then would be above average.
Yeah, I guess so.
No guessing here. We can't
Okay,
guess.
well, I don't know. Nova had 1 and 2 on Jock Peterson. You know, we always quip that, you know, sometimes the guy that makes a great play maybe leads off an inning or something like that. Well, he's going to bat second next inning, but can that carry over to an at-bat when you make a good play? That one will go foul. What do you think, right?
I don't know.
You're feeling good, you know? Yeah, stolen a base, drove in a run already, you know, kind of keep feeling good.
I guess it could. Yeah. Just give you good vibes, huh? Get you some good vibes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, think about like as a pitcher.
Maybe you strike out the side, or you get a quick, 6-pitch inning, or maybe a guy makes.
How about this? How about if you get a base hit as a pitcher? Does it help you when you go out to the mound?
No. Maybe if it was in a key
good
spot.
About yourself, like, hey, this is going to be my night. I can tell you that's not true.
Peterson battling here. Eighth pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Trying to finish him off with the curve. What do you got on that chart?
I always wonder what's he writing down in these rainbow colors.
Marte can't get it. And Peterson on the 9th pitch of that at bat ends up at second.
Oh, a heck of an effort.
He was playing deep and toward the line.
How close did he get? Almost.
Now he was playing toward the line quite a bit for a lefty batter.
Boy, his head snapped on the ground pretty hard too. Didn't feel good. I think certainly the fielders in the field, they push each other, not just outfielders, infielders.
And a base hit for Howie Kendrick. Peterson coming home, and he is safe.
Pretty good throw. Did everything they could. I was about to say, but before that, it kind of leads in here with this really nice throw to the plate. As we have seen quite a bit this year, they have games where everybody plays great defense. I think the players can push each other on defense. That gets a little crazy. One good play, I think, leads to another good play.
The Pirates are considering.
Yeah, I would consider that one. It looks close so far. I haven't seen anything that would make it overturn the call. But
they've won a challenge already tonight, but this one
tagged him on the left knee.
They are going to challenge. All right. Well, this could take a run off the board if the Pirates can go 2 for 2. It's very close. The Pirates took a long time to decide. Umpires have been very good about giving teams leeway and making a decision whether to challenge or not. So does Howie Kendrick pick up an RBI? Did the Dodgers get that run or not? New York will decide.
I think it depends on if his right foot was on the ground or was it up in the air. Watch his right foot. It definitely was on the ground.
And Marvin Hudson, in his decision, he wasn't sure out or safe right away either.
I think they're going to call him safe. It looks like the right foot was on the ground. It's awfully close. This is one of those, I think, that they might not overturn it the other way.
He's safe.
You know what I mean? I think if they would have called him out, they might not overturn that either.
Yeah.
It was that close. Could go either direction.
So Kendrick awarded a single and an RBI, moving to second on the throw.
There you can see the foot, and that's the one I think. I looked at a similar replay up on the scoreboard here, and that's why I said, well, if his foot's on the ground, then it's touching the plate, and he's going to be safe. If it was up off the ground a little bit, well, then maybe you would see that in one of the angles.
So the call stands. Pirates are out of challenges now. And Stripling, the pitcher, with 2 outs, and Kendrick at second. Nova trying to keep it at a single run here in the inning. 1-2. And he takes care of the opposing pitcher. So a run across, but Andrew McCutchen with that extraordinary catch. Imagine what this inning could have been like without it. And the dead sprint, hauling it in center. It's 3-1 Buccos. Has speed to burn and could reach a whole new level of depth this season. And the Pirates discuss the etiquette of talking to a pitcher on the day he starts, and much more coming up on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. It's coming up tomorrow at the postgame right here on Root Sports. On our UPMC scoreboard, the Pirates with a 3-1 lead. Marte, McCutchen, Polanco due up. And a really great game so far for Andrew McCutchen with a run-scoring single. He's stolen a base and that highlight reel catch. Which the folks on StatCast say that he covered 53 feet. Deep out to right, but Reddick can hold it in. And his route efficiency was 93%.
Got an A.
He gets an A. Let's look at some Point Park tweets about that great catch. All hail King Kutch.
Now those kind of catches will get everybody tweeting.
Did you see that? Did you see that? And the way that that inning played out, imagine if he wasn't able to make that sensational
just
catch.
about to say that. It was as it turned out, an extremely meaningful catch out there to take that extra base hit away.
Hit well out to right. Reddick back. And it's over the wall and gone. A home run. Andrew McCutchen hits one out of here. And the Pirates now lead 4-0.
Somebody is having himself a night, huh? The RBI single to start the game off. A phenomenal catch in the outfield, and now in opposite field. Those are my favorite when Kutch is hitting them. Home run. At night in Dodger Stadium. The ball's not carrying.
That is not easy to do. 16 home runs for McCutchen. And his first extra base hit since July 27th. And did it effortlessly.
Yeah, got that run back right away. Lead is back to 3 with this swing.
It's a nice, easy swing.
A fastball away. And he takes it that direction. Hit it where they pitch it.
And skipping over the wall out there, too. So 2 RBIs tonight. Stolen base, that great catch. Peterson snares out number 2. So maybe a great play does make it easier at the plate, right? We got our Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Here's the answer to that question.
Hopping right atop the wall and see ya. Reddick couldn't do anything about it. So McCutchen really, since that time that he was sat down in Atlanta, tried to get unplugged, as Clint Hurdle would say, he's been getting on base with regularity.
Hey, had a lot of didn't start just smashing a ball or anything like that, but was really seeing it well, I would imagine, because he was not chasing a lot of pitches, taking a lot of walks.
He's been on base almost half the time since then. Yeah, those 6 walks, 6 singles, and now the home run.
Capped off a Baker's dozen.
Now you got me hungry for baked goods.
I like baked goods.
2-2 on Freeze, who drove it a run with a single back in the first.
Had a nice biscuit this morning.
Good way to start the day. Talking about hitting the ball the other way. David Freeze has been doing that all season. Look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Right-handed batters, when they hit the ball the other way, when they hit it to right field. Best slugging percentage in the last 30 or so years. Look at that. David Freeze is having the best season.
It has really been amazing to watch this year, the way he just hammers that ball the other direction. We're not talking about him, flaring the ball over here. This is slugging percentage. These are those quality hits that you like to talk about, the extra bases, the home runs, the doubles. And for somebody that hits the ball almost constantly the other way to lead the team in exit velocity, which is one of those new stats that I kind of like. I like the exit velocity. It really puts a number on how hard guys are hitting the ball. I think it's so tough to be able to do that and not be a pull hitter, to get out and hit the ball the other way and still get that, get that much of the baseball.
He's hit 7 home runs out to right field. This isn't, Giancarlo Stanton.
The only guy I can remember, I don't know what the slugging percentage would be. I don't think it was on that list you were looking at, but I remember in my Brave days, Dale Murphy could do that. He just would hammer home runs out that direction back in the early 80s. But that's the kind of swing that Freeze has developed.
We're going to see the 10th pitch upcoming in this at bat. But the Pirates get another run on a big home run by Andrew McCutchen. Vintage Cutch tonight. Couple of hits, couple of RBIs, a steal, a great catch, including that home run. The Pirates are up 4-1. And just a reminder, 4-1 Pirates have the lead here as we go to the bottom of the third. World famous Dodger dog. Chase Utley to lead things off. Flat out his first time around. Nova giving up back-to-back hits in the second that yielded a run.
A nice pitch there with a curveball. Drops that in on the inside corner. Even if Utley's able to get the head of the bat out to that ball to hit it hard, he's going to pull that one foul. Something slow inside like that.
Flared out to right for a base hit.
Got the fastball in there and had it inside a little bit. Utley got enough of it to get it to the outfield.
And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Yeah, it just goes to show that Utley base hit that, you know, sometimes you can make a pitch that you think is the right one and you even execute it and they're still going to get a base hit. After throwing that slow ball in there, you would think, okay, now he's going to have to be waiting back a little bit. I can throw a fastball on his hands, and he got it in there decent, but still Utley was able to get a hit. Sometimes it's the tip your hat time to the hitters. They're good too. Guess that makes up for the ones you hang and they get popped up for outs.
Yeah.
That you forget about.
Wow, I got away with one there, right?
Yeah, but you really only think about that for a second or two, and then it's done.
Got to move to the next one.
Yeah, and then after the game, you're thinking, I only threw one bad pitch.
Corey Seager ripped the base hit back in the first. Pirates seeing the second start of Ivan Nova. Came over from the Yankees in that deadline deal. Required for 2 players to be named later. over with New York, an ERA almost at 5. Gave up a lot of home runs. Started the season in the bullpen, but then joined the rotation on May the 9th. But has had flashes of sustained success in what a lot of people think is the toughest hitting division in baseball, the American League East. Down the line, Marte gets the first out.
And
there's the
out.
second out.
Nice job.
I am surprised that he would try to go.
Well, what happened was Marte kind of caught that ball just backing up and everything, and Utley saw that and thought he could beat the throw.
But we've seen Marte kind of
Marte was surprised. Watch how, see how, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's going, and now see he should have got back, caught that ball moving forward. He came off the bag for sure. Even if he beats it, he came off the bag.
Dave Roberts is considering challenging.
Yeah,
this.
see how he came off the bag and had to catch it with his hand.
Harrison keeping the tag on, which is something that you got to do in the replay era.
I think he might have beat the throw. I think initially he was probably safe, but it looked like he popped up off the bag, and because he kept the throw on him, or excuse me, kept the tag on him, that's why he should be out.
Taking a lot of time. The Pirates took a lot of time to decide whether they wanted a challenge. And Dave Roberts is saying nope, he does not want to go for it.
They can't, because he came off the bag.
So even though Marte wasn't quite ready as he should be, with that great arm of his, he picks up his league-leading 13th outfield assist.
See, I think right there you can see the foot's on the base. Actually he's safe. He beat the throw, but right there he's off. Right there he's off, and the tag was still being applied, and so that's why he's out. He was out because he couldn't stay on the bag when he slid in, and yeah, I mean that one's on Jay-Hay. Jay-Hay should get that assist because he was
kind of almost flipped him over. It looked like.
Well, he kept the glove on him the whole time.
Big time bailout there. And so 2 for the price of 1. And Turner bats with the bases clear now. Pirates coming up with some good defense. Helping out Ivan Nova tonight. Base hit for Turner.
Almost expected him to catch that.
After that play he made earlier on Grandal. Cutchin having quite a night. Nothing he could have done about that 2-out single. Reddick bounced into a fielder's choice back in the first. Pirates lead 4-1 here in the third. High in the air and fairly deep to right, but Polanco able to haul it in. Starling Marte getting an out. have the lead on our UPMC scoreboard. Well, the Dodgers chasing the Giants in the West. Pirates chasing the Dodgers among other teams at first for the wild card. Marlins have lost today. Cardinals have lost today. The two teams just ahead of them. So that means if the Pirates can win tonight, they pull into a tie with the Cardinals, and they are a game back of the Marlins for that second and final wild card berth. When you think about that one stretch, I was thinking about it today, Bob, about remember it ended that bad stretch of 13 out of 15 losses. It ended when the Pirates beat these Dodgers back at PNC Park in June.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was just before we went on that road trip, right? To
the Giants
the
come
Seattle
in
trip.
and Giants kind of handled their business against the Pirates, and then the Dodgers came in and Pirates took the first 3 games of that series, taking 3 out of 4. But that losing 13 out of 15 back in mid-June, that you think, okay, well, that could spell doom, but the Pirates have been able to play very good baseball outside of that stretch of games.
Yeah, so that goes back to, I was talking earlier about losing Cole. He was gone in that period, and I think that really, you know, it shot a huge hole right in the middle of that rotation that wasn't really all that solid and consistent to begin with, and it really staggered the team for a while.
Yeah, because that's your stopper. Yeah, he left right at the beginning of that stretch of games when he had that right tricep strain. That's a great point. But yeah, that you know, no team that had a stretch of games like that, that many losses in that kind of a stretch, come back to make the postseason in the 2 wild card era. But Pirates could do that. They're getting close. So 2 away.
Number 24, Eric Fryer.
And school's starting up soon, so bring your family to PNC Park with an end of summer back to school deal presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. If you purchase an adult ticket in the corner box or outfield box, you'll receive a free kids ticket as well. And this back to school offer good for all remaining games in August. So go to pirates.com/back to school. Get your tickets. Come on out and see the Pirates as they try to make a 4th consecutive postseason.
It's looking like it's going to be very competitive right down to that last week, as it's been the last 3 years.
That's a nice catch by that fan. Kershaw played catch today in his effort to return this season. Last time that Kershaw pitched was against these Pirates when Chad Kuhl.
Talk about having a hole blown in your rotation.
Yeah, you talk about the Pirates missing Garrett Cole.
Wow.
How do the Dodgers miss Clayton Kershaw? They've been able to swing the bats, though, and have kind of withstood his absence, at least for now.
Yeah, it's, you know, hard to have that as a strategy to the end. You're just going to out-hit people.
And Fryer called out on strikes. Stripling retires the side in order. But the Pirates on top 4-1.
RAV 4th Inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
On a Friday Night Rocks, Pirates have the lead 4-1. Trying to gain a game on the Marlins and the Cardinals and these Dodgers. Ivan Nova has scattered 5 hits. Gonzalez, Grandal, and then Peterson, 5, 6, and 7 in the Dodger order. Still an imposing presence at the plate. Gonzalez, former #1 overall pick. Shade his eyes from the lights a little bit.
Oh, I thought that job that he did in San Diego was pretty amazing. Not a lot of, people in that lineup to protect him, and that was before they moved the fences in and put up big numbers down there.
Never said a peep about it.
Nope.
Never heard anything about him complaining in his hometown, getting to play there. You're talking about Ivan Nova throwing strikes, and again tonight he's thrown a great deal more strikes than balls, more than 2-to-1, kind of the ratio you like. What kind of what does that do for a pitcher when you're throwing a lot of strikes?
Well, it's kind of what it does to the hitter. It puts them on defense all the time. They're either going to have to go up there and swing at the first couple of pitches and then possibly make outs and let them have short innings, or if they're going to go up there with a attitude, I'm going to make him work a little bit. Well, now they're hitting 1 and 2 all night. They don't want to have to do that. So it puts them in a bad situation. They have to make that decision that they can't be the person that's always in that driver's seat. They're not seeing 3-1 pitches, 2-0 pitches. So they're not sure what they're going to get. Is it going to be a fastball in my hands? Is it going to go soft away? He's ahead in the count. He can throw anything he wants.
And here on a 3-1 pitch, gets it out to the warning track for the second out. A rare 3-ball count for Nova.
Number 31, John Peterson.
And you can use your Port Authority Connect card to save big on Pirates tickets this season, up to $8 per ticket. On select Sunday through Thursday home games, connect and save with the Port Authority Connect card. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Connect card. A lot of split allegiances.
There is a lot of that tonight, I've noticed. It's okay.
Yeah, maybe somebody grew up in Pittsburgh, moved out here for work or whatever, and met somebody from out here. Peterson with a drive, splitting the gap, and a 2-out double, his second of the night.
That's all right. 2 outs, nobody hurt.
And when I say that Nova has scattered 6 hits tonight, that's kind of
scatter them. That's all right. Don't give up the long ball. Scatter the other stuff. Throw strikes. Minimize the base on balls.
Howie Kendrick, right after a 2-out double back in the second, laced a base hit that brought in Peterson for the Dodgers' only run. Pirates lead 4-1 in the 4th.
That was a beautiful pitch for strike one. Breaking ball couldn't have been in a better spot. Not for the plate where you're sure you're going to get a strike, but still it's not a spot where anybody wants to swing at it for the first pitch. Even if guys are willing to hit the first pitch, they want, they're looking for something up a little bit, at a certain spot. And if they get it, then okay, I'll swing at the first pitch. So if you can throw a strike that's in that down and away quadrant of the strike zone, if you can go there all the time, not many guys are going to be saying that's the pitch I want to hit. Eventually, if the count goes in the pitcher's favor, they got to offer at it. But early on, you can probably get that one. I'd say 90% of the time you start off with strike one if you can throw it down there.
Well, it's a big swing if you throw that first pitch strike over. Last season throughout baseball, a .225 batting average, hitters after an 0-1 count, or .268 if they get ball one. So that's a 43-point swing.
That's one of the things that Ray's keeping track there. First pitch strikes. He loves those.
Nova about 50-50 on those tonight. Hard play here, and that's a base hit. And now you got two out hits for the Dodgers. But if you're going to get them from your 7 and 8 hitters, that brings up the pitcher.
Yeah, you're hoping the only bad thing about that hit is now you don't have the pitcher leading off next inning. But down 4-1, who knows? He might not be leading off next inning anyway. They might pinch hit.
Good point. Try to just get out of this inning and keep that 3-run lead.
So the error kind of forces him to get up there and hit because they want to get one more inning of him at least out on the mound. Whereas if that was the end, they could get another inning on the mound. They could get a 5th inning out of him and then pinch hit. So I'm really looking for the silver lining on that swinging button, aren't I?
I got to pay a little bit of attention to Kendrick over there, but I don't know if he'll be running in this situation. He can. And we got to pay attention to Peterson too. He just took off from third.
They're trying to induce a balk. Watch the back foot. See how he stepped off? If he doesn't do that, they can get a balk call.
And a free run.
Yeah, you can't fake the third anymore. So he would have had to thrown that ball to third.
And then who knows what could have happened. Nova had 2 strikes on his opposing pitcher. Trying to keep the lead at 3. 2 out double by Peterson. Kendrick an infield single. And he strikes out Stripling. So the Dodgers have collected 7 hits tonight. The Pirates have the lead.
Plenty to see and plenty to do in Los Angeles. I'm Robbie Mikowski here at Dodger Stadium. Well, an extra itinerary was handed out before the Buccos took off from Pittsburgh to LA, and this is an itinerary for the Pirates road trip. The wives have a lot to do this road trip besides watch baseball. Today they went on a tour, including a picture in front of the famous Hollywood sign way out there in the distance. Ladies toured Hollywood. They also got a picture in front of the famous pink wall, popular in social media circles, in front of the Paul Smith clothing store. Ladies had a great time, and there's a lot planned for the rest of the weekend, including a couple birthday celebrations. We get a look at Maria McCutcheon and Brittany Harrison. Maria on the left, Brittany on the right, taking a bite of something. I'll ask her about that later, and she'll probably give me a little bit of grief for putting her on TV, eating a sandwich there, but it's all in good fun. How about this? So Adele's in concert tomorrow night. Clint Hurdle's going to go with his wife, Carla, and he's taking video coordinator Kevin Roach and his wife, Heather, and a couple birthdays. Giselle Rodriguez is celebrating one on Monday, Sean's wife, and Billy Jouse, Pirates bench coach Dave Jouse's wife, celebrating the big 5-0. So a big weekend ahead for those two gentlemen, and the rest of the Buccos were able to bring their wives, girlfriends, fiancés on the trip. A lot of fun being had.
Been a fun trip to start off with. Now the Pirates need some wins to back that up. Opener of this 6-game trip tonight.
What makes it a lot of fun is the final scores. That's how you define fun trip or not.
Ivan Nova down on strikes.
The last West Coast trip was a fun trip.
Second baseman Josh Harrison.
Except Seattle. One moment in that trip I didn't like.
Well, the Pirates hope to improve on the road. Dropped 5 out of 6 the last trip against Milwaukee and Atlanta.
And they like the coast. The last time they were out here, it was great.
Very good.
So I'm expecting the same thing.
On the line, and did he hold on? Yes, Reddick robs Harrison of extra bases or maybe more. He's had a knack for shooting the ball down the lines lately.
Seen a lot of great plays over the years in these short fences down the corners, both left and right field here at Dodger Stadium. This one's not the greatest of the plays I've seen, but that one's not bad. He tried to protect himself. He knew he was going to hit his elbow against that wall. Didn't want to drop the baseball. Stripling likes it.
Both pitchers appreciative of some good defense behind them tonight.
I think that wall might actually be just a little bit higher than it used to be. I remember guys jumping in there a couple rows to make catches over the years. I think Al Martin made a great catch out in left field.
I can't confirm that, but I do know that this stadium went under extensive renovations, what, about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a little different than it started out. Not too much, but a little bit.
And Stripling issues a 7-pitch inning. Pirates still on top, 4-1. greater coverage of baseball. And David Dahl, the Rockies rookie, tying that streak of 17 straight games hit safely for a rookie. Ended today, though, the Cubs walloping the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright still struggling, and the Cardinals with Holiday now on the DL, joining another Matt Adams, who recently has gone on the disabled list. So the Cardinals flailing a bit. Pirates could tie St. Louis tonight with a victory. Chase Utley trying to prevent that with his second hit tonight. Now I know why Utley never grounds into a double play. Leads off every inning. Third time tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to double play when nobody on base.
Yeah, he has not hit into one all year. In case that comes up later, but hasn't mattered. Nova has surrendered 8 hits.
Scattered 8 hits.
Yeah. Corey Seager has one of those. This one hooking and foul, but not by much. This feels like a big outfield here. How did it play when you pitched here?
Big outfield. This is a big ballpark. It used to be a ton of foul territory. Still more than most places, but it was the foul territory here was almost ridiculous.
And you see all those you can see 2 different types of seats. Those lower seats and where the dugout is, that's all new. That was all foul ground. Same thing back on that other side. You can kind of see a separate section.
It's kind of like they overdid it when they came. Ebbets was all like right on top of it. You're right, almost in fair territory. The old ballparks, you were sitting right on top of the action, and a lot of them, kind of like like PNC Park. And I think a good example of the old ballparks would be like Wrigley. And then when they came out here, and you see both with Candlestick and Dodger Stadium,
that was all
they
playing surface.
Really moved the people way back. I guess for safety reasons.
Seager fly out to center for the first out.
But I think the first thing you would notice before they changed it was, as a pitcher, when you were out there, it looked like it was 10 miles to the backstop. It was like if you threw a wild pitch, they were going to go from first to third. That's how far the backstop looked.
And baseball has changed that now. I mean, with the exception of probably Oakland, you don't have those multi-purpose stadiums anymore. You don't need that extra room for a football field.
Yeah.
So all the baseball parks, they've tightened that foul territory quite a bit.
Yeah, they changed a lot here. They changed the dugouts all around. Dugouts used to be like maybe my favorite. Now not so much. Of course, I'm not down there, so it doesn't matter. they were just like, maybe 24 inches from the field level. You just kind of step down just a little bit. You didn't have that fence or anything you could leave, whatever. It was really, they were really neat dugouts. They were really big and spacious.
And you had more time to react to those foul balls because you're set back.
Well, yeah,
right?
you were a quarter mile from the home plate. So it doesn't make any difference.
Wouldn't be good if you struck out, right?
That was a long walk back.
Yeah.
Long walk to the dugout if you had a bad inning.
We're coming out of the ball game mid-inning, right?
That's what I mean. You had a bad inning.
Yeah.
They come take you out. Long walk in. But this place is still a classic. I hope they never really do anything major different to it.
They kind of restored the original seat colors, the pastels. Orange and blue for a while, and kind of gone back to that classic look from the 60s. Saw
my first Major League Baseball game ever, right down that right field line. Second deck.
Low seats?
First year of this ballpark. My grandfather and my dad brought me here.
Is that right? Well, it's a special place, Dodger Stadium. There aren't that many ballparks that are even this age anymore. Turner takes a strike now, 3-1. Turner with a base hit his last time around. slowly hit. They'll get one, and not in time on the relay.
I think they were kind of pushing it, or Jay was on the play at second base. What do you call it, the neighborhood play? In fact, they're the Dodgers holding up the game so they can take a look at it.
Pirates are out of challenges on their end. Dodgers have retained theirs.
Well, I guess Jay must have had his foot on the base, so I'm not going to challenge it.
And the Pirates can't challenge whether Turner was safe on the back end. It was very close. So Reddick bats with a man on and 2 outs. Pirates on top 4-1 here in the 5th. Nova's starting to fall behind a little bit here.
Now this is the play the Dodgers were looking at and see if.
Oh, that's very close.
Yeah, he was right on the edge of getting that foot off there. But you know, if you're gonna be quick, that's what you have to do. You're gonna get that double play. And that's something that's changed with that rule at second base. It's really kind of penalized the middle infielder as to what they can do out there to get the double play ball going.
You got to get rid of it quickly.
If they cheat by a quarter of an inch, the guy's going to be safe.
Those guys are coming in, sliding in on you.
Yeah, the whole reason to cheat is to try and protect yourself, to get off the bag, out of harm's way. Well, they don't allow you to do that anymore.
Well, Marte able to close a lot of ground and make that catch. And so just the one hit for LA. Friday Night Rocks. Andrew McCutcheon certainly thinks LA rocks. He has had quite the night. Singled in a run. He's homered. He has made an extraordinary catch in center field. He's got another chance against Ross Stripling, who has retired them all since Kutch's home run back in the 3rd. Ball and a strike on McCutchen.
Remember that infield hit that brought Stripling up to the plate? Another effect that it's had is it's kept Stripling in the game. You know, because I really believe if he'd have been leading off last inning down 4-1, they'd have probably pinch hit for him after he had pitched 5 innings. But now, because his at bat got out of the way, he's staying out there, and as long as he can keep getting outs, he'll stay till his spot comes up again.
So McCutchen lines out to deep right.
Right fielder Gregory Polanco.
First time he's been retired tonight. And Stripling has now retired 9 in a row because of that. Pirates with 3 runs in the first. And collected 4 singles off him, and then McCutchen's home run in the third, adding another. Gregory Polanco hitless in 2 trips tonight. Put a shift on Polanco with 3 on the right side.
Everybody's different.
I don't see that a lot with him.
There's some teams I've noticed, and I don't really understand it, is they'll play regular defense until they get 2 strikes, then they'll shift. Yeah, you would think that you would play a shift, and then if there's 2 strikes, then maybe you go back to a regular defense.
Right, because you're shortening up your swing.
He's going to
might go the opposite way.
Yeah, a little 2-strike approach, but I've seen teams be exactly opposite with Polanco.
Rick Honeycutt to the right, long-time pitching coach of the Dodgers.
But here the Dodgers, everybody looks at the same. I mean, you get the same info. They interpret it differently in the Dodgers. And they put a shift on him early in the count, right away.
And sometimes it could be a little bit different because of the pitcher, style of pitcher. A lot of science now involved in the game of baseball. That one caught on a line by Gonzalez. Ten in a row sent down. And you can save big on Pirates tickets with your Dick's Sporting Goods scorecard, up to $10 in tickets for Monday through Thursday home games. So get your tickets at pirates.com/scorecard. Operators are standing by. Remember when you had to make a phone call?
Oh, yeah. Remember those days. My sister was an operator.
Is that right?
Dialed O.
Yeah. Oh.
Talked to somebody. She was
Does that still exist?
an operator. I don't know if they still have operators or not.
Well, Stripling, a 9-pitch inning. He has sent down 11 straight Pirates. But the Pirates still have that 4-1 lead.
On Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find the location near you. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates 4, Dodgers 1. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Family-filled experience here in LA. Ivan Nova has allowed at least 1 hit in every inning, 8 in total. That has minimized any trouble. He's kept the middle of the order at bay. McCutchen can't get this one, and Gonzalez going to stop at second base. That one was pretty well scalded out there to right center.
Yeah, it was. There have been some balls hit very hard to the outfield. Pirates able to do a pretty good job with the glove tonight. This one just a little bit too far. It cuts way out for it, just off the tip of the glove.
And a good job backing it up by Polanco.
Yes, he did.
Allowing McCutchen to, try his best to go for that ball.
I mean, it's almost like you have to kind of read each other, what the other guy is going to do. You can tell, okay, he's going to sell out and go for the ball. So I mean, I got to go deep now and back him up. Has to be that communication, and a lot of times there's not time to like say anything like on a line drive like that. You just have to be, playing with each other long enough to kind of glance over, and you can tell what Kutch is going to do. Is he going to, give it ground and take it on a hop, or is he going to go over to make the catch? And you have to play accordingly.
Quite the trio. Probably the fastest total outfield in baseball. Here's Grandal. McCutchen made an extraordinary catch back of the second off.
Another great event
drive
for the All-Star 3 days. The outfield relay races. To find out who the fastest outfield in baseball is.
Yeah, with StatCast and everything now.
No, it has to be a race. That's fantasy stuff, fantasy baseball. I want actual players.
But now you're talking like it's the NFL Combine. You see a bunch of linemen running in a straight line. They don't ever do that when they play.
No. It could be.
What, are you going to shoot a ball out of a cannon and they're going to run after it?
No, relay race. Like
they don't run that style of.
I'm talking like around the bases or something.
Okay.
I don't care what the computer says. That has nothing to do with reality.
The Stardo is up.
Reality is watching. I mean, if we could just have. On your computer screen at home, and you're using your thumbs, you could play like that if it doesn't have to be real. I want the real players out there running and jumping and coming through or not.
Skills competition.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've said. That all kinds of different things like that. That could be one of them.
Pirates outfield would fare very well.
But yeah, you said okay, it could be one of the fastest outfields in baseball. Yeah, it might be. How fun would it be to find out and devise some type of a relay race? That's the kind of stuff that could take place during an All-Star. I want to say weekend, but it's not never on a weekend. It's during the week. Now I mean, basically it's the home run hitting contest. Okay, well, let's do some different things.
This former Pirate Jesse Chavez getting up.
I liked my idea the other day about the pitcher's home run hitting contest.
I did too.
They take on the American League DHs.
Pickle here for Nova to the leadoff double.
That was a nice pitch. Good spot. Got it up on the hands.
And Gonzalez cannot advance.
Center fielder, Jock Peterson.
Look at the location. You see Eric move in. Ball got in there, and even though Gonzalez is, big and strong, you move that ball in a little bit toward the label, and it turns a gap shot drive into more of a lazy fly ball.
Well, the lefty Peterson is
Grandal,
coming up.
by the way. I'm sorry, I said Gonzalez. Grandal.
The lefty Peterson coming up. The lefty Bastardo has been warming, and so that's going to be it for Ivan Nova tonight. He has allowed 9 hits, but he'll leave with a 4-1 lead here in the 6th.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And you can follow the Pirates live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Antonio Bastardo.
Take a look at Bastardo's numbers here on the season. He's a pretty good opponent batting average, just .239, not bad at all. As long as he's throwing strikes, he is tough as they get.
Ball 1 to Jock Peterson, the lefty swinger. Ivan Nova went 5 1/3, gave up 9 hits. Did not walk a batter. Struck out Ross Stripling a couple of times. Peterson 4 for 36. A 111 average against lefty pitchers.
Good matchup here, huh? I like it. You know, you had Nova, who he'd only given up 1 run, but still he has scattered 9 hits. So I understand this move, even though it's still a little early in the game.
Two-0. Big rip. Another layer to that. Bastardo, since what does he throw here on 2-0?
Oh, slider. Oh, here. Wait. Never mind.
Okay.
Tell me about your other layer.
Well, we'll see what happens here on this 2-1. Gonzalez at second with 1 out. Well, another reason for making the move too. Bastardo, even though he didn't fare very well against lefties with the Mets, since joining the Pirates, he's been pitching lefties differently by his account, and he's retired every lefty that he's faced. 8 so far, but still. And with Peterson doubling twice tonight.
Glad he made that change.
I think it was now whether the outcome happens, I don't know, but I think it was a great move. With Nova, we say scatter, but there's a lot of hard scatter hits there.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what you do. You read the game and see how it's going, and you could tell that Nova was battling out there tonight. He was getting the outs, but still, it wasn't easy for him. Every inning it seemed like there was a possible Dodger breakthrough. So at some point, there is going to be a breakthrough.
The old invisible there from Bastardo. I see why Peterson doesn't hit lefties well.
He was guessing strike. Very effective when you guess right. Looks like that when you guess wrong.
Full count on Peterson. 4-1 Pirates lead in the 6th. And he struck him out. Came back from down 3-1 to fan Peterson.
This is how you break a guy's bat on a strikeout. You get him so mad that he does it for you.
Big strikeout by Bastardo.
Peterson's going to break some more stuff. Not happy with just the bat.
Howie Kendrick's come through with a couple of hits with men in scoring position tonight. In case you were wondering, well, Dave Roberts, would he consider lifting his left-handed batter there in Peterson? Well, he's got to use somebody to pinch hit for Stripling, who's due up to follow. And he's only got 2 other guys, neither of whom really will instill fear in the opposition. All righties though, but wanted to stick with Peterson there. So not the wrong call either. And the Pirates knew it. 0-2 on Kendrick. Pedro Baez and Jesse Chavez. Ivan Nova could win. He's in line for the victory. Up to the bullpen now. The Pirates bullpen, if you go back to June the 23rd, the Pirates bullpen has the lowest ERA in baseball. Coincidentally, that began with a series against the Dodgers. There's the bullpen. And that's actually a greater viewpoint than they had before. They actually made that slot a little bigger.
It's always been a very interesting bullpen.
Do tell. You save that one?
Good place to get Dodger dogs.
Oh, okay. Well, guys got to eat.
Yeah.
Down there.
Right. That's why you want lots of baseballs in that ball bag.
Ah, I get you.
You turn baseballs into Dodger dogs very easily here.
Bastardo stays ahead 0-2. Gonzalez led off this inning with a double, and he's still there. Bastardo trying to bail him out. Fryer can't find it, and Gonzalez moves to third. It's a wild pitch.
Good thing they moved the backstop up closer. Not run around after that one for a while. In the old days, they had those all the seats back there were all sunken down. They were dugout level.
The old scout Mike Brito would be sitting back there with
by the gate with the
radar gun, big Panama hat, and a cigar. Runner at third with 2 outs. 1-2. And it's even. Kendrick, the longtime Angel. Here's Rob Seguin out on deck. Foul tip, but in and out of the glove of Fryer. Nothing Fryer can do about it. It either stays in his glove or not.
This inning's had good pace.
Bastardo takes a lot of time between pitches. 2-2. Swinging a soft ground ball.
Doesn't matter when you get results like that. Take all the time you need.
Absolutely. Stranding that leadoff double. And the Pirates keep their 4-1 lead as we go to the 7th.
Here at Dodger Stadium, the LA Rams selected a quarterback with the top overall pick, Jared Goff, by the Los Angeles Rams, who relocated from St. Louis earlier this summer. On the right is his father, Jerry Goff, with the rest of the family. Now, you're probably wondering right now, why in the world will he mention this during a Pirates-Dodgers baseball game? There's actually a Pirates connection. Jared's father, Jerry, was a catcher who played a total of 90 games in the big leagues over a 6-year span. Now, 22 of those games came with the Pirates during the 93 and 94 seasons, including 19 starts. Now, also on those teams was one Bob Walk, who may remember Jerry. Bob, he caught 2 of your starts, including the very last one September 29th, 1993, the last start you ever made in your career. Jerry Goff, your catcher. What do you remember from that day?
I remember now that it was his fault that he put down a curveball that got my leg ripped off by Ricky Jordan. Now I know who to blame that on. It was one of those nights where it just poured rain and we had a long rain delay, and it was a mess. But it turned out that at that time I didn't know. I got a lot of stories about that last game. We don't got enough time for this, but I didn't know obviously that was going to be it.
Jordy Mercer hitting this one out to left. A line drive home run, number 7. And the Pirates lead 5-1. Just muscled out of here off Stripling. Makes up 11 in a row sent down.
But that one got out of here actually pretty darn quick.
That's a good pitch to hit, and he didn't miss it.
89 mile an hour. I think maybe Stripling running out of gas a little bit. Not a real hard thrower to begin with, but that velocity is starting to dip now.
We were talking about it. Try to take advantage of that fastball from Stripling. I thought Quigg was in Oklahoma City.
You know, that was a nice efficiency to that ball, though.
Good route.
Yeah.
Good play there at third by Turner. A lot of glovesmanship tonight.
I like that.
Big hit for Mercer. Yeah, the Pirates offense had gone quiet. Could be an important insurance run.
Never have enough.
Fryer 0 for 2. Stripling going right back to work. On just 90 pitches, he's got 2 outs in the 7th.
They end up throwing 7 innings in this ball game. Sure wouldn't have thought that back in the first when they gave up 3 runs.
There's Felipe Rivero, the lefty.
It wasn't like we were knocking balls off the fence in the first inning. We were hitting a lot of ground balls. Still, they wouldn't think he would be out here in the 7th.
If nothing else, because of pitch count. 55 through 3 innings. And an 11 pitch 4th, a 7 pitch 5th, and 9 pitch 6th inning. We needed 8 so far here as he faces John Jaso. That eye getting better. Talked with him today and he said he could see again. He had a little bit of problem with swelling underneath that eye. Made it a little challenging. Well, the leadoff home run by Mercer adds 1, and go ahead, you deserve it. Let's stretch. 5-1 Pirates.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow.
For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
On a Friday Night Rocks. A lot of Pirates fans here tonight, and they're happy. 5-1 Buccos. Trying to gain a game on the Marlins, who lost today. Trying to pick up a game on the Cardinals as well. Next man up, Felipe Rivero.
Yeah, we got 9 more outs to get. Rivero will go after the first 3 of those. Hard throwing lefty.
And so Stripling's night is done as Kike Hernandez on to pinch hit for him. Stripling really recovered from the rough start. 6 hits but 5 runs as he gave up a pair of long balls to McCutchen and Mercer tonight. And you were talking about, Bob, when we started the broadcast tonight, about Pirates limiting the Dodgers home runs. Pirates have done that and have hit a few of their own.
Well, that's always a recipe to success, isn't it?
Keep the ball in the park and take it out on your own. Today is a chance to look at some of the guys who've come over in the trade deadline, huh? Right? Nova tonight, Bastardo, and now Rivero. All guys that weren't Pirates 2 weeks ago.
The newbies. End up with Tony Watson in a new spot.
And Bastardo, of course, an ex-Pirate, but back again. Rivero came over in that trade with Washington. Sent Mark Melanson to the Nationals. Wow. 97, striking out Hernandez. That's why the Pirates are excited about Rivero.
Well, it's great to be able to have the control. Well, it's necessary to have the control, be able to change speeds, but you can't teach velocity. And the Pirates try to get those hard throwers, and then once they have that unteachable skill, they have the guys that have the unteachable skill of velocity, then you show them how to be more effective with it.
Now Rob Saganin is pinch hitting for Chase Utley.
You find the guys that have the tools, and then you teach them to be mechanics.
That's a great way to put it. Saganin down 2 strikes, making his first foray in the big leagues at age 27 out of Tulane. Well, Stripling gave up 5 runs in 7 innings tonight, but felt like he pitched better than that. And Nova gave up 1 run in 5 1/3, and it felt like he didn't pitch that well.
He pitched. No, I think they both pitched well. I think with Stripling, that first inning was. I mean, think of the ground balls that he was, giving up and wasn't getting anything for him. That really hurt him. But Nova, he gave up some hard hit balls, but and a lot of hits, but didn't give up runs. So I think that's good also.
Made some big pitches with men on base. Did Nova. It's a results-oriented business. And Rivero has registered a pair of strikeouts.
It's baseball, so that means there's a lot of luck involved too. And, if you had both guys throw exactly the same kind of game 2 weeks from now, it might be a different result.
So Rivero has struck out both right-handed pinch hitters. And so far this year, he's been better against right-handers.
One of the things about when you're playing good defense like the Pirates played tonight, it makes your pitcher a lot lucky.
Marte was playing deep, and so Seager gets a base hit.
That's good defense.
Yeah, certainly some defensive plays helped out Nova tonight, to be sure.
Third baseman number 10, Justin.
Marte with the outfield assist. McCutchen with that highlight play in the second inning. That preceded 2 base hits. What could that have been? What could have become of that inning after? Surely would have been an extra base hit. So after that 2-out single by Seager, Justin Turner gets a turn. 1 out of 3 tonight. Dodgers out hitting the Pirates 10-6. But it's that first column that only matters. Could be a big win tonight here on the road. Pirates could pull to within a half game of the Cardinals and 1 of the Marlins, who sit in that second and final wild card berth right now. It's an easy 98 from Rivero. Pirates hitting a pair of long balls today, McCutchen and Mercer. 3 first inning runs on 4 hits, all singles. Oh, 2. Foul ball. Freeze just tossing him a ball.
Dodger blue.
Through and through. Nice. David Freeze to give a ball to a blue hair. That's nice. This redhead here down 1 and 2.
Some red hair. Look at that beard. Should be a pirate. Yeah. Red beard.
Yeah.
Name like Turner.
Harrison with a good play to get the final out. So that 2-out single left right there. Pirates still lead 5-1. Bucks, 3 runs in that first inning. Some soft singles. And they led 3-0 after 1. And Andrew McCutchen with that extraordinary catch to prevent what could have been a big inning. So he went to the wall, and then he went to the top of the wall for his 16th home run of the season. Jordy Mercer not to be outdone in the 7th inning, greeting Ross Stripling rudely with number 7, and the Pirates lead 5-1 as we go to the 8th inning tonight. Could be a big Buck win. Trying to pull within a game of the wild card. Kike Hernandez in the game at second base.
Jesse Chavez still ticking. ERA a little high, pushing 5.
Going to turn 33 in about a week and a half. Highly decorated reliever for the Dodgers. Top of the order with Harrison, Marte, and McCutchen coming up. All with hits back in that first inning. Set a good tone. Well to center. It just dies out there at night here, and so 1 away. Let's look at our day automotive this day in Pirates history. Back in 1991, Barry Bonds hitting one of the most dramatic home runs in Pirates history in the 11th inning. That off Lee Smith. And we remember
Seen
that
picture before.
Yeah.
Well, Lee Smith had some rough closing opportunities in his career, the great career of Lee Smith, including the All-Star game. He did not like Three Rivers.
One of the top save men of all time, Lee Smith. Now, that is an iconic pose, wasn't it?
Yep, that's probably maybe the Barry Bonds video.
Yeah.
As far as Pirates go anyway. I know a lot of you people at home are thinking, well, what about the throw?
the better of the two.
The positive.
Yeah.
Barry will be coming back to Pittsburgh here soon.
That's right. Marlins hitting coach. It's coming up when the Pirates return home. We got a tough stretch here. Dodgers and Giants on the road. Andrew McCutchen has had a great game tonight. We saw in the field what he was able to do. He's stolen a base tonight. He's driven in a pair of runs, both on the single and the homer, and hit the ball hard his last time up. Chavez behind 2-0. McCutchen was just coming up as Chavez's Pirates career was winding down. Ended up getting traded to Tampa Bay for Aki Uemura at the end of that 09 season. And got flipped to the Braves before he ever played for the Rays. Bounced around quite a bit. Chavez has been traded now 6 times So it must mean that somebody wants you, right?
Yep, if you're getting traded.
Strike 3 call. And Chavez records a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Pirates lead it 5-1. Andrew McCutchen hits one out of here.
Somebody is having himself a night, huh?
On a Friday Night Rocks. Pirates have been rocking Dodger Stadium tonight 5-1. Disappointing the home folks. Bullpen's done great tonight. Next up, Neftali Feliz.
Feliz's great year reflected in those stats. Opponent batting average under 200. Yeah, looking around the ballpark in between innings there, and still looks like most of the folks are in their seats here. Dodger Stadium having a little bit of a reputation of people leaving early, but tonight, waiting this one out.
Yeah, fireworks after the game tonight.
Oh, is that what it is? Fireworks. Oh,
that always keeps them glued.
Gotta have fireworks.
They've had enough. Got to beat the morning rush, which begins about now.
You can't beat traffic here.
You really can't. Too many people.
It's not possible.
Reddick is 0 for 4. Still a rough start to his Dodger career.
First baseman number 23.
Yeah, you and I have both experienced that enough. You more recently today.
Well, when I lived here,
family,
I
right?
threw in the towel. I would never come down this way. I mean, I dealt with traffic by always staying up in the hills and never venturing down into the traffic. That's how because I realized you can't beat it, so I had to figure out how to deal with it.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them. You should have joined the traffic.
No, I don't do that today.
I lived in the city, and there was no beating anything. You're right.
No, you don't beat it. It's there. You just have to ignore it. You have to give into it and just kind of Okay. I was on a freeway today.
And?
Pretty crowded.
Yeah.
You're only going about 45. And I realized that just in the direction I was headed, there's 8 lanes. And there's still not enough room for everybody.
Not the easiest place to get around in via the car, but it is worth the trip if you're out here in LA.
You gotta get a doctor dog.
It's a longer dog.
It's a hot dog that hangs out both ends of the bun.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah. And those are with a little extra on it. A little spin move there by Phillies. That's a fair ball.
Right over the top of the back. Thank you.
Doesn't kick away.
Yeah, you're hoping. Please stay fair. Stay fair. And don't hit the base.
Could we see an inning where the Dodgers don't get a hit? That's pretty crazy. They've had 10 hits tonight. They've had at least 1 in every inning. But the Pirates have pitched out of any jams before they became major jams. And thanks to some good defense as well. That great catch by McCutchen off the bat of Grandal back in the second. It's kept him 0 for 3 tonight. Now there's been a lot of traffic on the base paths too. True to LA form.
And the Pirates have dealt with it.
Grandal had really been swinging the bat well over the last 30 games or so. Got underneath it just a bit. And on his hands. And the first 1, 2, 3 inning by Pirate pitching tonight. We'll go to the 9th. Pirates up 5-1. Dodgers tomorrow afternoon. Our coverage starts at 3:30 with Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason, right here on Root Sports. A couple of day affairs upcoming from Dodger Stadium. 5-1 under the lights.
So I can't remember last time we had a Saturday game here.
Garrett Cole.
Probably last year, but it seems like really unusual to come out here and play on Saturday.
Yeah, Garrett Cole against Brandon McCarthy tomorrow. And then Chad Kuhl in the series finale. Cole and Kuhl.
It will not be cool. It is going to get real warm, I think.
Oh, is that
next
right?
Couple of days. What I hear. It was warm today. Got up into the 80s, but I think it's just a little taste of what we're going to get next couple of days here in Southern California.
Got to help those avocados grow, right? Almonds.
And the, sagebrush. So all that stuff's done growing now. It's just turning brown. Won't do much till next spring.
Blanco hitless in 3 trips tonight. Freese and Mercer to follow. On a strike on Polanco.
Oh, look at that eye.
Pirates in a dogfight tonight. That was from the other night when Jaso, yeah, connected with Derek Norris's shin guard, and now the swelling's gone down a little bit. Pinch hit tonight. And on Instagram, Sarah showing us that they're doing Permani's Dodger dogs here. Now that looks good. The coleslaw, the fries. Yeah, best of both worlds.
Some things are made to stay apart.
Wow. If you can't support that, Bob.
Yep.
What if they put, like they do with Manning's barbecue? You know how they put the pierogies on the barbecue sandwich?
Yeah.
Why can't you put pierogies on a dog?
Hot dogs. Whoa. Wow.
No. Maybe like cheese and onion?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a race? Hot dogs and pierogies.
Well, maybe the next time the Pirates go to Milwaukee, could have that happen.
I think they've raced the meets before.
And you were saying earlier tonight you'd like to see the outfielders race. So let's see the outfielders, the cased meats, and the pierogies all race.
Oh, that just gave me a great idea.
Juan Nicasio getting up for the 9th.
Before the outfielders have their relay race,
oh no,
they have to dress in their team's racing costumes.
I thought you were going to say they have to eat all that stuff.
No, they have to dress. They have to race in the costumes.
Who is the fastest outfield in costume?
In costume. Whatever the the Atlanta guys got to race like tools, drills and stuff.
Dental floss.
Unless you have some kind of a race at your stadium, you can't enter. So it'd only be what, Washington outfield, Arizona outfield.
Everyone seems like they got a race these days. David Freese has got his 2nd hit tonight. Boy, he's been swinging a hot bat. He's been in the lineup pretty much every day. And has really been consistent.
Yeah, I think he's played way more than I think anybody thought the start of the season. There was once, I think the plan kind of was once Jung Ho got totally healthy and in shape, he was going to be the everyday third baseman, but hasn't really turned out that way. Jung Ho having a hard time with the bat this 2nd half.
They weren't going to play Jung every day. coming back from injury, but what, 2 out of 3 or something?
Well, I think
like
eventually he would have probably played every day.
Yeah, gravitating toward
like,
that.
for instance, by this time.
Oh, sure.
If he's hitting the ball like he was last year, he would be everyday player.
Yeah, he got off to that great start.
He wasn't going to play him every day at the beginning of
right.
his, when he came back, they were going to take it slow with him, and they did.
And Gunn got off to that great start, but
he certainly did.
But no multi-hit game since June 19th in Chicago.
Yeah, it's cooled off.
Jordy Mercer homered his last time up. This one out to shallow right. 2 gone in the Pirates' 9th inning.
First baseman number 3, Sean Rodriguez.
Hitless in 3 trips. The Marlins have lost tonight. The Cardinals have lost. Pirates would be a half game behind St. Louis and 1 behind the Marlins for that second and final wild card berth. And they'd also inch closer to these Dodgers, who are sitting in that first wild card position. Still without Clayton Kershaw. No timetable for his return either.
That's the one you really want to get to, is
hosting the wild card game.
Yeah, you want to have that wild card game if you have to play it, which is looking more and more like you're looking at what the Cubs are doing in their lead. You want to play it at home.
Keep working toward first things first, right?
Yeah, I mean,
get in.
I still think you can look at the top spot, though.
Sure.
Make that your goal, because that's a very realistic goal. Whereas if you're staring at the Cubs right now, I think you're thinking, well, it's not so realistic. But 4.5 games.
First things first, get in, and then you can set your sights on what's next. Still got to crawl over 2 teams to be in that spot, but you know, if the Pirates play the way that they have outside of that, remember they went on that 6-20 stretch from the end of May to about 4 weeks, you know, into June. Outside of that, they're playing a 96 win pace of baseball. But that was a big stretch of games where there are 14 games under 500. So the 1-out single left stranded. 4-run lead in the 9th. Bottom of the ninth coming up on a Friday Night Rocks. Pirates leading them 5-1. They're going to stay through the bitter end.
Got to see the fireworks. Kind of surprised they have fireworks around here with all the fire danger and all that stuff that's been going on this summer.
Well, Smokey the Bear here tonight, so
Picasio's numbers, yeah, but still, everything's so dry. Heat wave coming. It's a dangerous thing.
Only you
shoot burning paper up in the air
can prevent fireworks. So Juan Nicasio in a non-safe situation gets the bottom of the Dodgers order. A lot of Pirates faithful here.
An older Philly shirt. Look at that logo.
Well, they're here for you tonight. Your first,
no,
you got your first team and your last team.
That's an Utley fan.
So Jock Peterson, 2 doubles tonight. Howie Kendrick with 2 singles and then a pinch hitter. It was a big out that Bastardo got on Peterson. Was behind him on him 3-1 with 1 out and a runner at second base. Got Peterson to strike out for that second out of that 6th inning. The Pirates bullpen continuing to do well, and Watson going to be ready if needed. Now what has to happen here, even though it's a 4-run game, if the tying run comes up on deck, Watson will probably be brought on for the save, just as he was yesterday afternoon. Saved a 4-0 game. Here's out number 1. Well, this Pirates bullpen has been about as good as it gets for coming up on what, 2 months now.
Yeah, the better the starting rotation gets, the better they will get, and the rotation's starting to, find their legs now.
Yeah, the last 14 games for the Pirates starting rotation, it's been a much better stretch here. An ERA of 2.95 for the Pirates starters alone.
Very good. Keep that going for a while.
Team ERA under 3 as well since the trade deadline. So at least the early returns are favorable, and many of those guys acquired in those deadline deals pitching tonight: Nova, Bastardo, and Rivero, the first 3 in the on the Pirates ledger tonight. Kendrick with his 3rd single tonight.
Second baseman number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Now Kike Hernandez, the second baseman. Coming out to some R. Kelly. Thanks for the correction. Yes.
When was this Talk Like a Pirate Day? We missed that?
I think it's in September.
Oh, we got that to look forward to.
Maybe we'll do an inning as Pirates.
All right. Tell me what day it is so I can do some pirate lingo research.
Oh, there you go. I got to get my eye patch. I don't have one yet.
So you're going to dress up also, not just do the speaking part. You're going to look the part.
I'm going to try to. I'll grow some scruff. Might take me a while. Yeah, Jason's there. I can borrow his eye patch.
What a great pirate he could throw an eye patch on it. Of course, he's got an eye. It's all looks like it's got a patch on it already.
He's feeling better after that collision at home plate. Nicasio with a 94 fastball. Matt Joyce has already got the beard. But yeah, that's you could see him have a sword in his mouth,
yeah,
right?
Definitely.
True Buccaneer.
Has everything going for him. Ponytail on the back. That's a pirate look.
He is the marauding type.
Yeah. He's the one who will like swing on the rope across onto the onto the other ship.
Trying to get the Dodgers to walk the plank tonight. Big game to start this road trip. And a big strikeout there. 2 gone in the 9th.
Pretty darn nice slider.
Nicasio, since joining the Pirates bullpen, an ERA under 3.
Look at that pitch. Beautifully thrown.
We're getting it ready.
One more out.
Pirates lead 5-1 in the 9th. Chris Taylor, a pinch hitter, batting for Chavez. Pirates would gain a game on both the Cardinals and Marlins, the 2 teams ahead of them in the wild card chase. Not to mention these Dodgers as well. And a ball to strike. And when we wake up tomorrow, it would be the Pirates a game back of the Marlins and a half game back of St. Louis, with a chance, if everything shook out right, to be in wild card position, or at least a tie, by the end of the night tomorrow. And it'll be turning the ball over to Garrett Cole tomorrow. There's strike 2.
Good guy to turn it over to.
Nicasio so far handling the 9th okay. Give up that hit to Kendrick. And a strike away from victory. 5-1 Pirates in the 9th. One, 2. Laid off the slider. Corey Seager would follow. He's got 2 hits tonight. Nicasio trying to end it right here. Two pitch. Well, the former Dodger, Nicasio, last year not offered a contract to come back. Has fared well since moving to the bullpen with the Pirates.
I'm going to say that from now on when people ask me why I left the Braves. They didn't offer me a contract.
Right.
Always been wording it the wrong way.
2-2. And the Dodgers stay alive in the 9th. Kendrick will go to 3rd. And that throw almost allowing Taylor to get to 2nd.
Well, you know, where those guys go really doesn't matter. It's all about tying run. That's on deck.
And that means it becomes a save situation.
Yes, it does.
Which means that Clint Hurdle often goes to his closer. He has every single time this year.
He's coming up the steps, it looks like.
Corey Seager, the lefty batter, has been announced. And now Clint Hurdle will come out. And that's going to be it for Nicasio, as Tony Watson will try for another one-batter save as he got yesterday afternoon. Pitching change here in LA, 5-1 Buccos. Back in a moment here in the ninth. Still on deck. Pirates with a chance to try to save it with Tony Watson coming on here in the ninth.
Well, time for Tony to nail down another save. Just be a one-out save.
Just like he did yesterday. So a 4-0 win yesterday for the Pirates against the Padres. Watson came on, struck out the only batter he faced. Here he'll have the left-handed batting Corey Seager. First and third and 2 outs and strike one. Seager hits .250 with decent power against lefties. But he's down 2 strikes. And he holds off that time, 1-2. Justin Turner is on deck. 1-2 from Watson.
That'll do it.
Who wants it?
It's a partay.
Indeed, a big win to start the road trip tonight as the Pirates take out the Dodgers 5-1 and move to within a game of the second wild card berth. Thanks to a big game from Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, absolutely set the tone early with that great catch. The Bucks got that early lead and kind of cruised to this finish, even though they gave up a lot of hits. Still felt like a very confident win.
And a big one at that. Pirates might find themselves in playoff position as early as tomorrow night. But tonight they celebrate a 5-1 win here in LA to start the road trip. Time now for the postgame show. Let's go out to Robin Teak.
Thank you for attending tonight's game. On behalf of the entire Dodger organization and 76 Gasoline, please remember to be respectful to our neighbors as you leave the stadium.